Gems.
The Gemz.
Today I have a very special guest, man. This is a good friend of mine. I consider him a colleague, somebody who was very active in my beginning years and when I started to put music out. This is the man who's been paying his dues for what seems like a lifetime, for his entire life. On and off the mic, he's contributed to the culture of hip hop in ways that encompass multiple facets, not just MCing. And he is undoubtedly the man with more load than Mr. Lift Shits himself, Superbad Solace.
Gemz, what up, man?
Yeah, bro.
The gemologist.
Cooling, brother, cooling.
Yo, it's an honor,
Thank you for
man.
taking the time, man.
Of course, man. It's an honor. Thank you for creating the space. And like I was saying prior, man, like it means different when it comes from fellow craftsmen. I feel like we understand what we do because you kind of got to have like a certain knack to see words the way that we do and put them together the way that we do with the intent that we have. So yeah, man, when I got the shout, it was a no-brainer. Glad we got to lock in and make this time.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, thank you. Yo, right off the top, on this platform, man, I like to ask questions that really penetrate past the music a little bit and get to, some of the reasons why the MC makes the music he does or sees the world the way he does. And one of those questions is the timeless question of do you believe in God?
Deeply, deeply,
So,
yeah, deeply. And I mean that's such a deep question because, man, like I've always been a man of faith, a faithful man as well. And that means a lot of things in terms of loyalty, commitment, belief, having a belief system that governs and rules your life. And in my case specifically, is very interesting because I've built a multi mixed faith household. I am of Catholic descent. My wife is Muslim, and we're teaching our kids kind of all perspectives, and when they're of age to be able to make their own decisions and should they want to choose a singular path, that's them, and at that time, at that point in time, we'll have imparted all the work and the beliefs that we've gained, but the bigger part that we've aligned on is the overlaps and the similarities and not the things that are going to separate us and pull us apart, because truth be told, people will try to pull you apart because you're different. But if you stay locked in on why that love is there and why that alignment and understanding is there, then that's all you need. And unfortunately, I feel like I've been able to find that clarity and building my relationship with God, building my relationship with my family, and finding that comfort in doing it my way. So yeah, man, it's a incredible question. It's a loaded answer, especially for me. But the answer is undoubtedly yes.
thank you for that, brother. Thank you. Now, if I had to ask you a question, but you couldn't use your name or occupation to answer it, who are you?
Ah, man, wow. See, this question is like, what's your why? And it's interesting, man. One of the books that I read is called Start With Why. It's one of the most profound books that had an impact on my life and my outlook. And by design, as humans, it's hard to articulate your why. It's a feeling. It's deeper than what you do or what you are, or what your title is, or how you do it. But like your purpose, your cause, your belief. I am a man, first and foremost, a family man. I am a craftsman. I am a showman. I am a giver. I am a contributor. And I am proud of what I've given and contributed to date. That's it's hard to again articulate exactly what that why is because it's fuzzy, but I do believe I know my purpose, and it transcends me. You know, it's my kids, it's Karina Soul, it's Ray Rakim, and it's up to them to better articulate it than their father could right now.
Amazing. Amazing. Yo, before I go to my next question, let me just touch on that. God bless the kids, man. You named your son after Rakim. Talk to me about that, man.
Yo, it's funny, man. I know you appreciate this because we care about the way words are put together. And my last name is Rodriguez, and I always wanted my son's name to be Rey, Rey, which in Spanish means king. And there's just this a flow, a melody. You know, check out my melody. When you put those three words together, Ray, Rakim, Rodriguez, all together is like that's it. It locks in, it
Fire.
clicks in. And Rakim, you know, he just similar to the prior question you had about like describe who you are. It's hard to describe that man's aura, but you feel it and you understand it and you know that it's special, you know, and that's what I always felt like I wanted to flourish within my household, especially with my son. And yo, the quick story before we keep it moving, but
Yeah.
yo, I spoke to Rakim the first time that we were pregnant, and we I didn't know if I was having a boy or girl, but I told him I said, "Yo, Ra, my wife's pregnant, and I'm gonna name my son Ray Rakim Rodriguez. Could I get a shout?" He's like, "Yo," he was blown away. He's like, "Yo, that means everything to me." He was so humbled by it. And he's like, "Yo, I got you." Boom. And yo, this the God Rakim, peace, little Ray Rakim Rodriguez. Yo, and like a week later, I found out I was having a girl. So I was like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be on the shelf. This maybe is gonna be on ice in the vault forever." But the second time around, you know,
Wow.
thankfully I got my baby boy, and then my brother, my younger brother, got to do some work with Rakim, and he got me another shout, and you know it all clicked in. It was all about timing, man. Timing is everything, as he would say.
That's a dope story,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah,
That's a dope story, man. He said, nah, this shout out is not staying on ice,
yeah.
man. We
No, thank you. Yo, when I found out I was having a girl, I was, and again, I know you'll understand this as the father that you are, the exemplary father that you are, and that's something I always shouted you out about. You know, I always peep your relationship with your daughter and how you poured into her creativity and how you always kept her, you know, right under the wing. You know, and I feel like, especially in hip hop, the type of music that we're so locked into, there's almost like this stigma or cliche about how visible you are with your real life, you know, and how much you want to give and show and put on display. You know, things like working a job that's not rap. You know, I feel like there's this big facade that a lot of artists feel like they have to put up because they're scared to truly embrace or broadcast who they truly are. And I feel like once I was able to crack through that perception to understand that more people are actually going to connect with me when they see that I'm not just a rapper. You know, I'm far beyond that. You know, and again, going back to your earlier question, like all those attributes of the man that I am, the father that I am, those are things that fans have connected with me so deeply on, and I honestly wish more artists did it because I feel like they're doing a disservice to themselves and their stories when they're only projecting one dimension of their personality.
wow. That's amazing, brother. That's amazing. My next question was, you mentioned some literature. What would you refer to somebody if you could pick one book, of any genre, of any ilk, just something that you would reference or suggest to someone like, yo, check this out, man. This might change your perspective.
Yeah, it would actually be the book that I just rattled off. It's called Start With Why, and it's by an
Okay.
author named Simon Sinek. And it was introduced to me in the field of work that I do. So I work in marketing and advertising, and a lot of times we work on creative expression and building commercial campaigns for Fortune 500 companies. But beyond the expression, the commercial, the post, whatever the case is, understanding why we're doing it is a deeper, more philosophical question. And I saw this guy do a TED talk, and it was all about breaking down the understanding of why. And he created like this diagram. It was three circles, almost like a target, right? And then in the center, he had why. In the middle layer, he had how. And then the outer layer, he had what. So he was like, if you think of Apple, for example, they'll tell you not just what they do, they'll help you understand why they exist as a company. They exist to defy the status quo. How they do that is through beautiful, superior design that's going to make your life easier. What they sell, iPads, iPhones, Apple TV, boom, 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 the whole ecosystem of what they sell. And he's like, if you just reverse that order of information and you started with what you sell and then try to get down to why, you lost the potential fan or customer. And that just clicked through with me so deeply. And little things too, like don't say the word think, say believe. I believe this. When you say you think this, people are going to doubt you because you're almost second guessing yourself, and it almost reprogrammed me and retrained and had me self-edit in real time after I read that book. And I've gone back to read it and listen to the audio book, but that one specifically, you don't have to be in marketing, you don't have to be in music. It's just one that I found to help me better articulate who I am, what I do, and most importantly, why I exist. So Start With Why by Simon Sinek. That's the one.
Awesome reference. Thank you. I'll be picking that up myself, Solace, for sure. Amazing, man. Yo, let's get into some music though,
All right,
brother.
let's go.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you about before, I got a couple things about some lyrics, some bars, and some videos you put out for sure, man. But Industry Shakedown.
Kaleidoscope collages, average oscope, mirages, shrink doctors begging me to break down the ink
Yo,
blotches.
you making me feel like this is a Nardwar interview right now, man. You digging in the crates right now, man. You digging in the crates, yeah, man.
This is actually the first time I came across you.
That was the time.
This is how I came across a few people actually. This is the first time I ever heard or saw Action Bronson and Mayhem
Yes,
Loren.
sir.
Quite a few people, man. Quite a few people, but you as well, though. On both sides
Yeah.
of the equation. You know what I mean? And that was something that immediately stuck out to me, man. That as impressive.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And you created a platform, but you were also, at the same time, some of the toughest competition on the platform. You know what I'm saying? So talk to us about that,
Wow,
brother.
thank you for bringing that up, man. So, Industry Shakedown Radio, that was a college radio show that I had with one of my closest friends. His name is John. He used to go by Pay J. And it was interesting, man, because I had started college and, the Stretch and Bobbito lore as New York City hip hop kids is just like the most reverent. And I was like, man, I don't know who's doing that, and I'm not trying to fill those shoes because they're too big to fill, but I'd love to add on if I could in a similar capacity. So I remember just seeking out the radio station at Baruch College, and I found it, and I just walked in and I was like, yo, how can I help? Like, do you need me to roll up posters and distribute CDs? Like, what can I do? I just want to be involved. And I was hanging around and eventually became a guest speaker on somebody's show, and they're like, yo, that was kind of dope. This person just left the slot open. You want to take it and make your own show. And I was like, wow, it's incredible. At the time, I was bumping Freddie Fox really heavy. Freddie Fox has the album The Industry Shakedown, which is a classic on so many levels.
Absolutely.
And I was like, that's what the industry needs. It's a shakedown. So I wanted to add on to that thought. So launched Industry Shakedown Radio, and basically used it exactly as what you said, a platform to like share my playlist with my people, and my people would grow to become people I didn't even know. You know, people from different parts of the world were tuning in. ASAP Yams, God bless his soul, man. He used to call in. Eastside Stevie, I had no idea who he was. He was calling into my show religiously to talk about the Mob Deep stuff that I was playing. And little did I know, like-minded individuals were tapping into this network that I was building. But yeah, man, it was more so a forum for me to bring in people I believed in, for me to play music that I believed in, sneak in some of my own music on some, like, you know what I mean, Trojan horse kind of thing. And yo, everybody from Sean P, it, the list goes on and on and on, man. The anniversary show was epic, man. Like, it was Action's first performance ever. May Rock Marcy, Ka from Brownsville, as a guest appearance. Sadat. It goes on and on and on. But that's an important part of my story. So I'm glad you brought that up, man. And yo, around that time, man, the same way that was your discovery of who I am and who I was. That was around the time where I was tapping into you, and I remember MySpace days heavy, and I'm like, yo,
MySpace,
this guy is
indeed.
special. This guy is special. Like, he got it, and and
Thank you,
and I
brother.
remember just even beyond the words, it was like the realness, and I know you're bringing these questions to me, but I'd be remiss to not bring this up to you. Like, I remember seeing the imagery. I remember hearing the words. I remember seeing the polo sport that you were wearing that was like, yo, this isn't regular. Like, he knows. Like, he's on the
No
very
doubt.
specific wave. So I'm glad we connected at that time, and that's to
Likewise,
see
man. I
what
could
you
say all
do.
those same things about you.
Thank
Likewise.
you, man. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, man, that's
No,
Industry Shakedown.
thank you for that, brother. That's definitely history right there, and a very very special part of history for what we do. Indeed. Yo, nighttime.
Oof.
Yo, this is the dopest video out, brother.
Wow.
My right mind. Sean P said it best, said it best. Use me or I'm useless, useless. Nowadays I'm too stressed, trying to ace the true test. I turn my L's into lessons. Blessings, count your blessings.
100%. This Chroma, right, is the guy who did it.
Chroma, yeah. It's for the heads who exist in the graffiti world. The person who directed that is Quest, Ques 718.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's funny, man, because he's somebody whose work I've seen around me as a kid growing up, and we work in parallel industries. He does this very professionally. He does the film, content production, storytelling at a very high level, and we connected. And he's like, "Yo, let's do something one day." I sent him the joint. He's like, "I bet." He wrote out a storyboard, a whole treatment. We went back and forth. And truth be told, I've had the video for like months. But if there's anything you know about me, or hopefully people have picked up, is that, like I said earlier, timing is everything. I'm obsessive with details, not just about what the material is, but when I drop it, how I drop it, what's the packaging, like the overall story. And the packaging is equally as important as the music, and I had the blessing to perform at Sean's memorial show at SOB's, and I wanted to hold that moment and kind of like pedestalize that moment through the video. And then I wound up dropping the video on Sean's birthday. So, like, little things like that, it's like a wink and a nod to those who know, because they know, like, I'm putting in the little extra effort and detail to go beyond just rap. And that was kind
Oh, it comes across. It comes across very clear, brother. And that video seems to be a culmination of all those things you're talking about with timing and detail. And I mean, just what a beautiful homage, man, to the brother Sean P. May he rest in peace, man. Um, you put a couple things in there, man. Speaking of Sean P, man. if you can't use me, I'm useless. You know, when I heard you say that in the song, this is something, you know, me and Sean P were not best friends by any measure, but, you know, we made a couple songs together. And I was around him for a couple years in
Mm-hmm.
a specific studio. You know, we spent quite a bit of time around each other, just talking shit, ciphering,
Mm-hmm.
sharing techniques in rap, man, and comic books, a whole bunch of stuff. But that right there is, I think, you know what I mean? Anybody who ever spent any amount of time around him heard that line from him right there.
Exactly.
If you can't use me, I'm
Exactly.
useless. You know
And
what I
he was
mean?
true about it. He was so sincere about it. It wasn't like just a catchy cliche thing to say. It was that. And then the other thing, which wound up becoming the chorus of the song, was at the end of the day, it's nighttime. And I just remember hearing that, and I'm like, man, like I get emotional thinking about those words because it's so simple, but it's so layered, you know. And I'm a fan of simplicity, you know. And that even goes back to like the rapping style. I used to be very like, ba 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 ba, you know, as many syllables as I could jam in. And over time,
No
I'm like,
doubt.
yo, give it more room to breathe. Like, let the beat accentuate what you're saying. And that simplicity of Sean saying, at the end of the day, it's nighttime. I was just like, wow, you know, like, how are you going to make the most? How are you going to maximize your God given time? So by the time it is nighttime, you can rest well, you know,
No
and
doubt.
that's why that always resonated with me so deeply about Sean. And I'm glad it's connecting with the right people, such as yourself.
No doubt. It's definitely a jewel, brother, for sure, man. And Sean was definitely full of them, man, for sure. Yo, there's another line on that song, turn a square to a diamond, switching the angles up. That's a hard line right there.
Uh,
Know what I'm
yo,
saying?
it's so,
And it's something, this is what's so crazy though, bro. It's something that I'm sure many people have looked at these shapes before, right? And subconsciously went, you know, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, but to verbalize it the way you did, and then the lines that it came after, you know what I'm saying? Uh Referring to having a grip but not having, trying to get a grip but not having a handle. Like
mhm,
just the, like you said, the simplicity
mhm.
of actually deep concepts, you
Yeah,
know,
man.
switching the angles up. It's like you looking at something but you don't know what you have because you're looking at it the
Looking
wrong
at it
way.
from
You
the
know what I
wrong
mean?
way, yo, and it really lights me up inside to like hear these lines connect. You know, sometimes you, and again, I know you get this because you do this. Like sometimes you drop something that's so specific that you're like, yo, it might have gone over everybody's head, but as long as I got it, as long as I put it out there, I'm good. And nobody has ever
Right.
brought that line up to me, and it's so ill that you bring it up because yo, that was a moment very vividly that I remember from kindergarten, bro. Like when I was learning my shapes, and I remember the teacher having an easel, a magnetic easel with the little magnet shapes, and she was like, "Yo, what was this shape? Was that shape?" And I remember literally just cocking my head to the side and being like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like both hands up, like, please tell me you're seeing what I'm seeing because it can't just be me. Like, if you take that square and turn it a little bit, that's a diamond, right? And she was blown away by that. And it hit me, you know, years later to just embrace that moment because that was a moment about perspective and looking at the same thing that everybody else looks at, but seeing it from a different angle. And seeing things from a different angle could just open up a world of newness and a world that is hidden in plain sight. So, yeah, man, like I've started to gravitate more towards those simple, like aha moments that are just very well worded over the overly technical, complex. Like I still have heart for that, but it's more challenging to be simple than it is to write overwrite and overbar. And you know, it's easy, yo, it's easy to write an incredible 100 bars. Can you write an incredible song that's gonna stand the test of time that you're gonna be talking about in an interview? You know, like these are the things that are measures of success to the strategy that I've employed. So yeah, I'm glad you're picking up on that, man.
Nah, no doubt, no doubt. Overall, excellent work. One of my favorite joints out right now. Like I said, man, the video, the job they did with the video, just the scenes, even the way they're shot, the cuts, just everything about it. He was in tune with that song. You know what I'm saying? Like he was so in tune with that song. It just fits so perfect, man. And yo, back to Sean real quick before I mention this these other bars, man. That was something Sean also imparted to me. The yo, Gemz, you dumb nice. These verses that you have, they're so condensed with ill lines that you could probably make 5 or 6 verses out of this one verse that you have here if you just excavated the take one of those ill bars out and build a verse around that. You know, he just was, because Sean was also very technical and complex in the beginning as well. You know what I'm saying? And he switched up
100%.
tremendously. But you know, you could say the same thing about Rock Marcy. A lot of great MCs, you know what I mean, figure this out at some point. But what's so beautiful about it is that you don't, you know, there's nothing for these MCs. They've paid their dues with the complex shit so much that when you see them going this route now, it's refreshing and you understand it, you know, and you embrace it easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, because it's almost like you're fully stepping into your skin. You know what I mean? Like you're it's character building. It's finding yourself at the end of the day, which is the premise of Soul Controller and the series of Soul Controllers, being on a quest to becoming yourself, who you are, who you've always been at your core. But it takes time to shed different skins to become your purest self, and that comes with time, that comes with experience, that comes with exposure, that comes with living. You know what I mean? And from a technical wordplay perspective, what you just said is exactly right. Like now I'm good to pause for a second, let the beat, you know, underscore what I
Right.
just said, and then I come back, and now it's like there's a relationship between me and the music instead of
Trying to
me
murder the beat. Yeah. Trying
attacking
to
the
outdo the
beat.
beat.
Trying to exactly. It's and after years and years and years of doing that, there's an awakening that happens where it's like, if I want this to stand the test of time as music, I got to develop a better relationship with the music instead of trying to just kill the
No
beat
doubt.
every time I get a chance to.
No,
And that
I
was it
agree.
for me.
I
Yeah.
agree. My only amendment to that jewel right there would be, you know, earn it first. Earn the right to do that first. And like you have, like Sean certainly did, like Rock, like all the people I've mentioned, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, yeah. Go crazy first. Prove yourself. Prove that you can be that guy. And once you earn it, you know what I'm saying? Then yeah, I
Hmm.
agree wholeheartedly, man. Yo, I want to talk about the new project though. Peace through understanding. But right before we get into that, right before we get into that, I wanted to point out this line on I believe it's on Careless, which is that's my joint because what you addressed on Careless is extremely beneficial for the user, for the listener. You know what I mean? Because it addresses the unimportance of gossip, the unimportance of social media clout, and this illusion of notoriety, being the king of New York. You know what I mean?
Pockets was dry till I pray for rain. Send the fella critically acclaimed like Dana Dane. Blue verified check, care less. To be the king of New York, care less. That grown man gossip, care less. I'm blessed with finesse just
But
because
you
I
know,
care less.
my joint on that, my line on that is show you the ropes like runs jeweler. You know what I'm saying? That's just a witty line, brother. That's just an amazing line right there, man.
Just because I care less. The number one ruler, none cooler. Y'all son doulas. Let me show you the
Well
ropes like
done,
Runs
bro.
jeweler.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm laughing because you're the second person, actually the third person who caught that line. And those are the ones that I was talking about earlier. Was like, I'm gonna just sneak, I'm gonna bury this one in there, and if any ever gets excavated, then I know people would appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like, and that was one of those ones where it's just like, let's have fun with the words. And again, it's simple, but there's so many layers to the truck jewelry, the ropes, the cables, Run DMC, being from where I'm from, and it's all those little things where it's like, wow, this you could build a spider web out of connection just from those like 5 words, but the simplicity of it is like, how has
Indeed.
nobody said
When I
that yet?
heard it, I said,
You
why the
know?
fuck I ain't say that? How did I not say that? No doubt, brother.
Thank
You
you,
already, man. Now I know I don't want
thank
to
you,
hold you
man.
too long, Solus, but break down real quick, man. Tell us about this new project.
Yeah, so the new project, man, is so convenient and so by design that you and I are talking today because I dropped a new project. It was supposed to drop tomorrow, but it went to streaming a day early, and it's called Peace Through Understanding. And again, going back to what I was saying a little bit earlier about having the music, and the music is the core. If the music is not great, then all the marketing, all that stuff doesn't matter. But if the music is great, then how do you build a world around it that's going to invite people, whether it's through the gear or whether it's through what you project and the storytelling that you do, how you roll it out, the timing behind it, all those details matter. And tomorrow marks the 60th anniversary of the 1964 World's Fair in Flushing Meadow Park. I'm from Flushing, Queens. I grew up between Flushing and Corona, so Flushing Meadows, Corona Park is literally my backyard. And 60 years ago to the day, the world was imported to Queens. Robert Moses, Walt Disney created this larger than life display for every part of the world to showcase their achievements, their technological advancements. It was the internet before the internet. It was the internet in real life, and the leave behind, the symbol of that was the Unisphere, and the theme of that World's Fair was those three words: peace through understanding. And those words just, in my personal life hold so much weight because, peace, as Large Pro would say, is the absence of all confusion. And I found so much peace within myself just accepting my circumstance and crafting my circumstance, whether that's with my family and not having a textbook, archetype to follow, like creating my own textbook along the way, finding peace along the way through understanding and knowing what I don't know and being comfortable with that and learning how to listen and not just always talk. That has been part of that journey of becoming who I am. Yeah, and it's kind of like an extra chapter to the Soul Controller trilogy. But yeah, man, all that aside from what I was saying, like all the inspiration and what informed it, is it's only 3 songs. And yo, you know this better than most. Like, we come from a time where every second counts and we want to pack as much in as we can to the music, to the songs, 4 verses, 16 song albums. People don't have the time or the attention spans. It's all evolved. This is like we're living through human evolution where if you don't catch somebody's attention in the first 3 seconds, you lost them. And it's sad to say because there's a lot of opportunities being missed. But I want to adapt to a certain degree, and the concept of putting out full-length albums personally and creatively has crippled me because I put so much work into the music, but I put even more work into how I roll it out, how I give it to the world, how I post it, what's the cadence, who do I tag, what's the location, what's the timing, and all that stuff on top of doing all the music and it's too much. It's too much, and it's withheld me from putting out more music, which is the most important part. It's the nucleus. If the music is not great, nothing else matters. So I want to try to disarm myself a little bit and remove myself from the idea that I have to put out these extravagant rollouts for these full-length albums. So I'm like, my new format is 3-song projects. I'm gonna work with one producer on different producers on 3-song projects, so I could really click in, build a rapport, and how much can I do in 3 songs? Now, there's a
Big
different
part of the
discipline.
challenge too.
Exactly, right? Like we were saying, the same thing where it's easy to write a ton. How can I really pack a lot in the simplest form in under 10 minutes? And even the way I share it along is like, here's a link, give me 10 minutes of your time. You go to the store, but you won't even be back. You'll have listened to it 2 or 3 times. you put
Indeed.
it you put it in that perspective versus, yo, listen to my new joint, 17 double is the equivalent of a double LP. People can be like, bro, I love you, but I don't have time. you know,
Yeah, just seeing the track list is like a psychosomatic reaction of like, yo, nah, they already turned off. Like, I can't make that commitment.
no, Gemz, somebody sees that you posted a video that is over 1 minute. It could be a minute and 12 seconds, and they'll be like, they'll watch the first 18 seconds and be like, all right, I don't got time. I don't got time to watch the other 52 seconds or whatever. Like, that's the world we're in right now. So, again, to bring it all home, 3 songs, peace through understanding, and there's range and versatility and flexibility and different topics, whether that's my relationship to God, my relationship to my family, just some more lyrical kind of b-boy, different.
Project is amazing, brother. I was able to listen to it twice, actually, after you sent it
Yo,
to me. You know what I
I sent,
mean?
sent it like an hour ago, and you got
I
through
was
it
able
twice.
to listen to it twice. It's dope, brother. It's dope. Every song is unique, but they roll into and off of each other very, very smoothly, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, thank you,
Very
thank
dope
you.
project.
It means the world, man. So yeah, tomorrow's the official date. Put it out. I got some content, some video support, some visual worlds that I'm trying to build around it. But we'll see where it goes, man. I'm happy it's done. And going back to your first question again, like I love to connect the dots as much as I can. You asked me about my faith, and I gave you my response. The cover of the album shows my son Ray Rakim, who we spoke about, in a kufi, because that was a few weeks ago during Eid, where his mom was participating and I was observing,
No doubt.
and there's a tension in that cover to me where it's like, that's a world I don't know, but I do know him so deeply because he is my extension. So I love playing into tension because the best art comes from uncomfortable places. I know that I'm probably gonna get slack from people like, yo, you put your son in a kufi on the cover of your album, like,
Who cares what people have
that
to say
that's
about
not
that?
that's not for fashion. That's his core identity. That's the composition of my family, and I found peace through understanding that, which lays out why it's called what it's called.
No doubt. That is beautiful, brother. I tell you, I think it's beautiful, the job that y'all are both doing, and the fact that, you afforded these children, you know what I'm saying, the opportunity to grow and learn from a multitude of schools of thought and knowledge and make their own decisions, like you said. I think that's a lot of people could learn a lot from that, straight up, man, because that's the opposite of any sort of indoctrination or dogma. You know what I mean? And that's
100%.
beautiful.
Thank you, brother. And it's not easy. And if anybody's watching this that might find themselves in a similar circumstance or position, I hope I'm able to serve as any small beacon of light to say that you just got to know what's priority, and know what truly matters most in your circle that is going to have the biggest impact on your day to day. And it's easy for people to critique and to judge, but they're not living in your shoes. You're living in your shoes. So how do you fill those shoes the right way? You know what I mean? And again, that all goes with being in peace with who you are, first and foremost, which is the message I'm really trying to put out and promote.
Amazing, brother. Yo, Solace, man, you are one of the most intelligent, articulate, and well-spoken MCs that I've ever come across. That is undoubtedly, brother.
Oh, likewise, man. And I know you're creating this platform to, you know, share your perspective and curate your worldview by way of the people who might have sparked some insight in your
Absolutely.
life or whatnot. But again, I'd be remiss to not use this time to bounce that back, bro, and let you know that you're one of the absolute illest, one of the best to do what we do.
Means a grand deal,
And
man.
there's bro, there's a lot of ego in what we do, and I want to throw that out the window right now to just look at you straight up and say thank you, bro, because aside from what you're doing right now, the work that you've put in is undeniable.
Thank you,
So
brother.
it's good to see, again, folks who look like us, folks who have been putting in the time and earning the stripes, because, you know, if not us, then who?
Yo, brother, thank you so much for that, man. It means a great deal coming from you. Once again, Solace, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for imparting much wisdom. And we will continue to build, brother.
Absolutely. Let's get some music in, bro. We've been talking about it for ages.
Let's
Man.
go. Let's go, man.
Yo, I'm serious, man. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, I think the last one we did was Diamond Hourglass. I believe that was the last joint we
Yeah,
did.
yeah, no, it's been way too long. Been way too long. Now, yo, I'm getting back into this flow. I'll send you something if there's anything that comes across your plate that you feel like might make sense. You might hear me on.
Certainly.
Please.
I certainly have a few things that I could send your way.
All right, Gemz. Well, let me make the moves, man. I hear baby boy crying in the background, so this timing just worked out perfectly.
Say no more, brother.
All right.
Thank you.
Peace, brother. Be good, man.
Trying to ace the true test. I turn my L's into lessons. Blessings. Count your blessings. Ever since my adolescence.